Hello, hello, hello. This is Dr. Badvibes, and hey, it's been a while. Sorry. I have a full-time job, a kid with a bunch of extracurriculars right now, and a primary channel that's had a new video game come out. So, hey, if you're not aware of that, I do have an older channel that's video game specific if you're into that. If not, I get it. It's mainly fighting games, but hey, if you want to see something like all of the Contra games being beaten without being touched, I've got you covered. If you're not into that, that's cool too, because we got news, and I have a cornucopia of corny news today. I figured, why not come back with some Florida news? And I found a whole bunch. And honestly, I found a bunch. There's not a whole lot I can say about it. It's just kind of like, you know, car wrecks that you see, you look at it and you're like, oh. So we've got a few of those, a couple of longer ones. I've got a fun one at the end with the video. So hey, anyways, there's a variety of stories. Let's just jump right in. If there's anything we know about Florida, they like Applebee's. And if you were at this Applebee's and had a set of eyes, your vision was not eating good in this neighborhood. So the cops busted a drunk man wearing a pink thong, fake breasts, and pink wig. Because if you're going to go to Applebee's, why not be fancy? Sir, this is an Applebee's. A drunk man wearing, as we just said, pink wig, fake breasts, and a pink thong was arrested Friday evening. Oh boy. For causing a disturbance outside the chain restaurant where concerned diners said they were eating good in the neighborhood disrupted. I came to Applebee's, I have a good time, and he comes in stumbling around, looking beautiful, and it's so distracting. Anyways, the cop said a 49-year-old man was so intoxicated he was unable to provide for his own safety and well-being, as well as stumbling around the Applebee's parking lot in Clearwater, Florida. The quote-unquote extremely disoriented man tried to enter a vehicle that did not belong to him. That's not eating good in that neighborhood. When questioned by deputies, he was unable to answer basic questions such as where he was, where he came from, and what state he was in. That's pretty blasted. Where are you? I don't know. Where do you come from? I don't know. What state are you in? The state of inebriation. Florida is a state of mind, after all. So an arrest report does not offer further details about his clothing, but as seen above, he was arrested for disorderly, as seen above, he was arrested for disorderly intoxication and booked into the county jail where he changed into an orange outfit, a little less, ostentatious. Following a night in jail, he was freed from custody on Saturday, pleading to the misdemeanor charge. He was ordered to pay a total of $570 in fines and court costs. It was an expensive trip to Applebee's. Wow, okay, so they listed his home address. Have fun with that. Let's not do that. That stuff is not relevant, but why the outfit, I would like to know what kind of party he was at. And then, hey, that leads us right into the next one. I didn't realize it just rolled over like this. That's weird. So, yeah, if you wonder what's up with the outfit, hey, I'm not a fan of that outfit. Take it off. Be careful what you wish for, because a man who also thought he was Charles Dickens was allegedly drunk and walking around a Florida parking lot, quote, wearing only a t-shirt with no pants, totally Winnie the Poohing it. Early Wednesday morning, with his private parts on public display, he was spotted with 2 wine bottles and a can of beer, which probably had something to do with it. When he was confronted by police and asked to identify himself, the suspect provided the name Charles Dickens. And it was later discovered that was not his name. And in addition to the open container and exposure of sexual organs counts, he was charged with providing a false name to law enforcement. After a day locked up in the local Bleak House, nice, he was freed Thursday by his own recognizance by a county judge. Why Charles Dickens? Perhaps it was the best of times, but also the worst of times. And the worst being just wearing a t-shirt and no pants. What else we got? We need never be ashamed of one's tears, or maybe one's pants. So take them off and go to a parking lot. I don't know. All right, so Florida man loves parking lots. That's the gist of those stories. Let's move on. All right, next up. Did you know that water can burn? I guess it can if it's in melon form. Palm Coast firefighters put out burning watermelon hauling semi-truck, which I noticed right here. It says a stretch of I-95 was an utter mess. Like, why the cow joke? Do they not know where watermelons come from? I hope that's just a glitch. That's from another old article. Anyways, so this was on I-95. Palm Coast firefighters responded Friday night to a burning semi-truck full of watermelons. The important part, they managed to stop the fire before it reached the semi-truck's fuel tanks or the rest of the trailer. Hey, which, all joking aside, that's a serious deal. I remember, what was it, spring break or summer break call? It was like, I think it was the last time I went to the beach during college. And it was, trip ended, fun was over, time to go home. I was leaving. Where was I? Yeah, I was leaving Myrtle Beach, and then I, make a turn. There's just a completely inferno engulfed semi on the road, like exploding. I was like, oh wow, okay, all right, let's go home. But yeah, those can be super dangerous and definitely disrupt the flow of everything, even if they're full of watermelons. It appears the fire started from a tire which may have been flat and overheated. And yeah, I mean, even if you're just driving a normal car, if you have something wrong with your tire, keep your pressure up. If you have a flat, maybe pull over. Granted, I know with the semis, it may be hard to notice, but surely, I mean, I don't know at this point, but surely they have pressure gauges that, let the driver know. I don't know. Maybe it's an old truck. Who knows? But hey, don't make it dangerous for everybody else. Anyways, not much to that. I just thought it was funny because a watermelon truck burned. Not because of the danger, but, hey, water burn. Shame. Watermelons are delicious, though, so that is a shame. I hate to see those go to waste. And I actually have watermelon in the fridge right now, so when I'm done recording, I want some watermelon. All right, last, but definitely not least, probably the most, because it actually has a video, so we'll end with that. But before, I didn't know that gender reveals were still, like, making a big deal about them were still a thing. I mean, honestly, people don't care. I understand that you care as the parents. That's totally normal. Grandparents, other parts of the family probably care, but outside of that, nobody cares. So stop pretending like they do, or living in the delusion that people do, and stop blowing things up to celebrate a 50-50 chance. Anyway, Indian Rocks Beach, neighbors concerned over loud boom and pink plume of smoke. It's almost a tongue twister. So around 7:30 p.m. on a Sunday, cars were lining a portion of a neighborhood. And all of a sudden, the eyewitness and her fellow neighbors heard a loud boom followed by a pink plume of smoke. All of our neighbors started coming out of their homes asking what in the world that was. We had people walking down the street asking, what in the world was that? Oddly specific, similar phrasing. This is what landed in my neighbor's yard, and she also had to deal with all the pink smoke that landed in her yard as well, showing a bag of debris. So the news channel reached out to the sheriff's department for an interview, and they declined a request for an interview and said that public records request for the reports weren't available to be processed Monday. Okay. Not enough time or something. Who knows? Anyways, so the news channel stopped by the house in question, found a box labeled Amazing Fireworks Prince or Princess in the trash bin sitting at the curb. So, yeah, Sherlock figured it out. Reporters knocked on the door. Nobody answered. They called and texted the number listed on the house in question and have not heard back. The witness said she's fought tooth and nail alongside her neighbors for tougher regulations on short-term rentals and is disappointed it's still being discouraged. Okay, so this was a neighborhood. Somebody probably rented the house out and had a gender reveal party that exploded. So we've lost more and more neighbors at this point, not due to explosions, but due to the rental agreements. All the homes are empty or short-term rentals. All right, so this article doesn't say a whole lot. Let's see what the video says. I believe it has some more detail. Oh yeah, before we jump into the video, somebody did get, I assume, a drone shot of the house in question. So this was, they were quite amazing fireworks, as we can see here. That's insane. You don't need to do all that. Nobody cares. You should not care so much to make things explode. Be happy and let it be. You could have spent that on some, I don't know, stuffed animals, baby stuff.
The short-term rentals dispute continues in Indian Rocks Beach tonight after neighbors heard a loud boom yesterday, followed by a large pink plume of smoke. Take a look at this. Tonight, 8 on your side is hearing neighbors' concerns and working to get some answers. News Channel 8's Nicole Rogers joins us now live in Indian Rocks Beach. So, Nicole, what are you hearing about it tonight?
Well, Josh, it's really the same concerns we've been hearing about for years now, this ongoing dispute between short-term rental owners and the neighbors who live nearby. Tonight, one neighbor specifically is speaking out, hoping her concerns don't go up in smoke. It was around 7:30 p.m. Sunday. Beth McMullen says cars were lining a portion of Harbor Drive South in Indian Rocks Beach. Then all of a sudden, she and her fellow neighbors heard a loud boom, followed by this pink plume of smoke.
All of our neighbors started coming out of their homes asking what in the world that was. We had people walking down the street. They come running down the street asking what in the world was that.
So McMullen says she called 911.
This is what landed in my neighbor's yard. And she also had to deal with all the pink smoke that landed in her yard as well.
8 on Your Side reached out to the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office, but they declined our request for an interview and said the public records request for the reports weren't able to be processed today. We stopped by the house in question and found this box labeled Amazing Fireworks Prince or Princess in their trash bin sitting at the curb. We knocked on the door,
so how does
but no
that
one
work?
answered.
Just to interrupt here. Prince or princess, so that, to me, presumably it comes with both sets of fireworks, and you set off one or the other, or maybe maybe you're surprised as well. I don't know, but yeah, what happened to the blue ones? Are they gonna blow those up too?
We also called and texted the number listed on the house in question, but have not yet heard back. McMullen says she's fought tooth and nail alongside her neighbors for tougher restrictions on short-term rentals in Indian Rocks Beach, and is disappointed she's still being disturbed by guests.
We have lost more and more neighbors, and at this point, some parts of the town don't even have neighbors anymore. All the homes are empty or short-term rentals.
8 on Your Side will continue working to get answered on what happened, how many people were at the property, and what the sheriff's office has to say about the complaint. Now again, according to city code, fireworks are illegal here in Indian Rocks Beach, and it can come with a $500 fine. For now, live in Indian Rocks Beach, Nicole Rogers, 8 on Your Side.
Somebody might be in trouble. Yeah, I'm sure they did have questions when they all came out of their houses, although I'd say the one question they did see was boy or girl. And they didn't have to ask that one, nor did they want to ask that one or care. Nobody cares. I have to reiterate, it's fine. I know you're excited. Been through it. It's cool. You know, found out we had a girl, didn't blow anything up over it, good or bad. It's, you know, it's a 50-50 shot. Don't make such a big deal about it. Anyways, hey, so that's what Florida's been up to this week. You know, hey, it's almost summertime as well, so things will probably get even more wild, and I will be here to keep tabs on it and let you know. Until then, take it easy. Thanks for watching.